Welcome to mathsatoka online class. If today is your first day of watching our video, please consider subscribing. In this video, we'll be talking about inverse of a matrix. Okay. Now, before we find the inverse of a matrix, let me take you to getting the minus of a matrix. The minus, not the minus like this. Okay, it's the minus of a matrix. Okay, so now if we have this, for example, let A be equal to the this matrix 1 3 or 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, now and we want to find the minus, and they say obtain the minus of this matrix. Obtain the minus. Okay, now how do we obtain the minus? Well, we obtain the minus of this matrix one after the other. Okay, the minor of, we start from the first one. The minor of 1. The minor of 1 is just for you to close anyone you are picking, close the row and the column of that one. I'm picking 1, so I'm closing the row and the column, okay, where 1 is. So the minus of 1 is simply 5 6 8 and 9. As simple as that. So the next one now, the minor of 2. The minor of 2 is simply, look at 2 here, so I'm closing the row and column of 2, so I'm left with what? 4 6 7 and 9. Okay, the minus of 3. The minor of 3. Okay, now the minus of 3 are look at 3. You close the row and the column under 3, I'm left with what? 4 5 7 and 8. Very simple. So let's go to the next one. The minor of 4. The minor of 4. The minor of 4, look at 4 here, so I'm closing the row and the column of 4, so I'm left with 2 3 8 9. So I'm left with what? 2 3 8 and 9. Okay, so the next one is the minor of 5. The minor of 5 is simply, look at 5 here, so I'm closing the row and the column of 5, so I'm left with 1 3 7 and 9. 1 3 7 and 9. Okay, so the next one is the minor of 6. The minor of 6 is equal to look at 6 here. If you close the row and column of 6, I'm left with 1 2 7 and 8. 1 2 7 and 8. So the next one, the minor of 7. The minor of 7 is simply, look at 7 here, close the row and column of 7, I'm left with 2 3 5 and 6. 2 3 5 and 6. So the next one is what? The minor of 8. The minor of 8 is simply, look at 8 here, close the row and column of 8, so I'm left with 1 3 4 and 6. 1 3 4 and 6. So the next one is what? The minor of 9. The minor of 9 is simply, close the row and column under that 9, so I'm left with 1 2 4 and 5. 1 2 4 and 5. So that is that. It's very, very simple. Okay, that is how to get the minor of 3 by 3 matrix. Now let's get the minor of 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, because that is what they will definitely ask you. Only 3 by 3 and 2 by 2. So they said find all the minors of obtain the minors of matrix A, which is what? 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, now so the minor solution, the minor of 1, look at 1 here. If I close the row and column of 1, the minor of 1 is what? 4. So minor of 2. Minor of 2 minor of 2. Look at 2 here. If I close the row and colon of 2, I'm having 3. So minor of 3. Look at 3. Close the row and colon of 3. I'm having 2. So finally minor of 4. Minor of 4. Close the row and colon of 4. I'm having what? 1. Okay, as simple as that. So that is how to get minor of row and colon. So you can do this one for me and share it at the comment section. The minor, in fact they can even ask you what is the minor of a particular thing. Okay, so let's say, but this one I want you to obtain the minor of the entry 4. Look at this. They say let A be equal to what? I'm having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, 12 13 14 15 16. Okay, they say obtain the minor of 11. Obtain the minor of each of the entries. Okay, obtain the minor of 11, just the minor of 11, or just do everything so that you'll be familiar with it. Obtain the minors of all the entries of A. Okay, obtain all the minors of the entries A. So you can do that and then you are good to go. If you can get it, you're okay. So the next one, after getting the minor, the next thing you need to get is called the cofactor. All these things will help us to get to the inverse of a matrix. Okay, so the next thing you need to get is what? The cofactor. Now the cofactor is simply the determinant of the minor. Okay, bearing the sign in mind. The determinant of the minors bearing the sign in mind. Okay, so what? Look at that. If you want to get, let me give you an example. Now they said let A be equal to this the matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, then I say find the cofactor of A and the matrix of the cofactor of A. Okay, so the first thing they say we should find is the cofactor of A. The cofactor of A. I'm going to do it gradually and then I will show you how to do it straight without getting the minor first. Okay, so this one is so that you will start from putting the sign plus minus plus. Okay, the next one is what? Minus plus minus. The next one is what? Plus minus plus. Okay, so that is how to arrange it. Plus minus plus, then and so on and so forth. So let's go there. Let's get a solution. The first thing we are getting is from the minor. So we'll say the cofactor of A from the minor. First of all, from the minor, but let's go straight from the minor of A. Minor of 1. Minor of 1 is what? I'm putting, okay, minor of 1 is what? Don't forget, close the row and colon of 1. I'm left with what? 5, 6, 8, and 9. Okay, then cofactor of 1 is simply the what is it called? The determinant of this minor, which is what? Left, right. So this time this will give you what? 45 minus this time this will give you 48. So what do you have? You're having that is minus 3. Don't forget that this one is plus. That is why I'm using, in fact I'm going to use that plus here. Okay, very very important. So the next one, number 2 said, first of all, minor of 2. And minor of 2 is simply, minor of 2 is close the row and colon of 2. I'm left with 4, 6, 7, and 9. But 2, okay, then cofactor of 2 is simply put minus, because this one has minus in bracket of left, right. You must go left before right. This time this you have 36 minus, this time this will give you 42. So if you do the both of them, you are going to have minus into minus 6, which will give you just exactly 6. Okay. So the next one we look at is cofactor. Sorry, the next one we look at is minor of 3. Minor of 3. And minor of 3 is simply close the roll and colon of 3. Close the roll, the roll and colon that is beside 3. So I'm left with what? 4, 5, 7, and 8. I'm left with 4, 5, 7, and 8. So then the cofactor of 3, the cofactor of 3 is simply, don't forget that here will be plus, because 3 is plus in bracket of left, right. 4 times 8 is 32 minus 7 times 5 is 35. So my answer is now minus 3. Okay, my answer is minus 3. So the next one is what? The next one is cofactor. Minor of 4. Minor of 4 is simply close the roll and colon of 4. So if I'm left with 2, 3, 8, and 9. Close the roll and close the colon. So I'm left with 2, 3, 8, and 9. Okay. So what do we have now? The cofactor of 4 is simply, don't forget that 4 is minus. You say minus in bracket of left and right. This time this is 18 minus, this time this is 24. So I'm left with minus in bracket of 18 minus 24 will give me 18 minus 24 will give me 6. Okay, so I'm left with minus 6 here, which will give you just plus 6. So the next thing we're going to get is minor of 5. Minor of 5. Remember that 5 is positive, but that's not my interest. My interest is covering here and covering here, covering the roll and column. So I'm left with 1, 3, 7, and 9. So I'm left with 1, 3, 7, and 9. So if I get the cofactor of 5, don't forget that here is positive because 5 is positive. I'm going to have left, right. This time this is giving me 9 minus. This time this is giving me 21. So I'm left with minus 3, right? 9 minus, so minus 12. Okay, minus 12. So the next one is what? Minor of 6. Minor of 6 is simply close the roll and colon of 6. I'm left with 1, 2, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 7, and 8. So now the cofactor of 6 is simply put the minus that is there. They have left, right. This time this is what? 8 minus, this time this is 14. So what do I have now? Minus 6 minus into minus 6, which will give you just plus 6. So the next one is what? Minor of 7. Minor of 7 is simply close the roll and colon of 7. So I'm left with the roll and colon of 7. I'm left with 2, 3, 5, and 6. 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, so the next thing we are getting is the cofactor of 7. Cofactor of 7. Don't forget that 7 is plus. So I'm going to say plus here, left, right. This time this is 12 minus, this time this is 15. So I'm left with minus 3 as my answer. So the next one is minor of 8. Minor of 8. And minor of 8 is simply close the roll and colon of 8. So I'm left with 1, 3, 4, and 6. 1, 3, 4, and 6. So therefore, cofactor of 8. Cofactor of 8. Don't forget that 8 has minus. So I'll say minus in bracket of left first. This time this is 6 minus, this time this 3 times 4 is 12. So my answer is now minus in bracket of minus 6. So which is what? Just 6. So the last but not the least is now what? The minor of 9. Minor of 9. And minor of 9 is simply close the roll and colon of 9. I'm left with 1, 2, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 4, and 5. So the next one is now the cofactor. The cofactor of 9. Cofactor of 9 is simply, don't forget that 9 is plus. So I'll say plus in bracket of this time this, 5 minus this time this, 3 times 8. So my answer is now what? Minus 3. So since I've gotten all these things, now the next thing you have, they say we should find is now the matrix of the cofactor. So the matrix of the cofactor of A. Okay, we will not tell them that. So the matrix, the next thing is what? Matrix of the cofactor of A. Okay, matrix of the cofactor of A is now, get all this thing you have. That is what? Minus 3, 6, minus 3, 6, minus 12, 6, minus 3, 6, and minus 3. Okay, so this is now the matrix of the cofactor of A. As simple as that. Okay, now but for us to start getting the minor and before getting the cofactor, it's a long process. So we can just get the cofactor straight. So let us get the cofactor of A straight. So the question say, look at A. A gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want to get the cofactor. A is equal to this. We want to get the cofactor of A. So the first one we say was what? Cofactor of 1 is simply, don't forget, just say plus, minus, plus. Since here is plus, you have what? Minus, plus, minus. Then here we got plus, minus, plus. So what do? Now we pick the first one. Cofactor of 1 is what we are looking for. We say plus, then close the row and colon here. So you are left with 5, 6, 8, and 9. Then do the left, right inside here instead of writing it out first. So 4 times this will give you 45 minus this time this will give you 6 times 8. I think it's 48. So you see that your answer is just minus 3. You are getting it straight. So the next one is what? Cofactor of 2. Cofactor of 2, don't forget that it has minus. So I'll say minus in bracket of, close the row and colon. So you are left with 4. You have to be very, very careful. 4, 6, 7, and 9. So just do your left, right. So 4 times 6 is what? 36. Okay, and then minus 6 times 4, 6 times 7 is 42. So I'm left with minus bracket I think minus 6, so which is giving me just 6 as my answer. Okay, so the next one is what? Cofactor of 3. Cofactor of 3, don't forget that 3 is positive. So close the row and colon of 3. I'm left with 4, 5, 7, and 8. So do your left, right. 4 times this is 32 minus this time this. Don't forget that this minus is not going with them. It's going with them only when you are picking it. Okay, when you are picking it, and not when you are multiplying. So this time this is 32, and this time this is 35. So if you do both of them, you are having minus 3. Okay, minus 3. So the next one is what? Cofactor of 4. Cofactor of 4. Look at 4 here. So close the row and colon of 4. So I'm left with 2, 3, 8, and 9. So I'm going to do 4 has minus, so I'll put minus and say I'm left with 2, 3, 8, and 9. So left, right. This time this is giving me 18 minus this time this will give me 24, right? 24. So both of them is giving me minus into minus 6. So which is what? Just 6. So cofactor of 4 is 6. So the next one is what? Cofactor of 5. Cofactor of 5 is what? 5 is positive, so I'm using positive in bracket of, close the row and colon of 5. So I'm left with 1, 3, 7, and 9. So 1, 3, 7, and 9. Left, right again. 1 times this is 9 minus 3 times this is 21. So if you subtract, you're having minus 12. Okay, so the next one is what? Cofactor of 6. Cofactor of 6. 6 is negative, so I'm putting minus in bracket of, close the row and colon of 6. So I'm left with 1, 2, 7, and 8. So do left, right again. 1 times 8 is 8 minus this time this is what? 14. So both of them is giving minus a minus 6. So I'm left with 6. Okay, so let's continue. Cofactor of 7. Cofactor of 7. Cofactor of 7. 7 is positive, so I'm using positive bracket. Close the row and colon of 7. So I'm left with 2, 3, 5, and 6. So do your left, right? 2 times 6, 12. Minus 3 times 5, 15. So I'm left with minus 3. Okay, so the next one is what? Cofactor of 8. Cofactor of 8. Don't forget that 8 has minus, so I'm using minus in bracket of close the row and colon of 8. So I'm left with 1, 3, 4, and 6. Left, right? 1 times 6, 6, minus 3 times 4, 12. So I'm left with minus in bracket of minus 6, which is 6. So the last but not the least is what? Cofactor of 9. Cofactor of 9. 9 is positive, so I'm using positive in bracket of close the row and colon of 9. So I'm left with 1, 2, 4, and 5. 1 times 5, 5, minus 2 times this, 8. So I'm left with what? Minus 3. So then the matrix of the cofactor, let us bring it out. The matrix of the cofactor will give us, let me write it here. Matrix of the cofactor will give us, we started from minus 3. 1 gave us minus 3, so replace it. 2 gave us 6. 3 gave us minus 3 again. 4 gave us 6. 5 gave us minus 12. 6 gave us 6. 7 gave us minus 3. 8 gave us 6. And 9 gave us minus 3. See, they are all equal. So instead of bringing out the minus, just go straight to get the cofactor. It's the same answer. Now the next thing you need to know is called the adjoint. Adjoint is simply the transpose of the cofactor. So if they say we should find the adjoint of A, adjoint of A is simply the transpose of the cofactor of A. Let me represent cofactor of A as C. Cofactor of A, the transpose of it. Okay, so adjoint of A is simply transpose. I told you is what? Carry the row and make it the column. So if I carry these people now, bring it down, it will now be minus 3, 6, and minus 3. Carry the other row again, bring it down to have what? 6, minus 12, 6. The last row, bring it down, have what? Minus 3, 6, and minus 3. So that is what? The transpose of the cofactor, which is called the adjoint. Okay, which is called the adjoint. So let me give you something to do for me before we now talk about. Then we'll now talk about. Okay, let me do for cofactor of what is it called? Of 2 by 2 matrix. This one is 3 by 3. Like I told you, they will always ask you either 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. So let's talk about the cofactor of 2 by 2 matrix. So if A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what you have to do is just say plus minus plus minus, as simple as that. So therefore cofactor of 1 is simply 1 is plus. Then if you close the row and colon, you are left with what? 4, not the minus 4. Minus is for the picking, so I'm left with 4. So the cofactor is simply 4, which is what? 4. So the next one is what? Cofactor of 2. 2 has minus, so I'll put the minus there before I'll close the row and colon. I'm left with 3. So this is the 3 here, so which will give you minus 3. So the next one is what? Cofactor of 3. Cofactor of 3. 3 is positive, so I will now say close the row, close the colon and the row of 3. I'm left with 2, so I'm having 2 there, which will give you plus 2. So the last but not the least is now cofactor of 4. Cofactor of 4 is now 4 has minus, so I will now say close the row and colon of 4. I'm left with 1, so my answer is now minus 1. So what do we have now? We will now say that what? Cofactor of A will now be what? A matrix of what? 4, minus 3, 2, and minus 1. As simple as that. So the next thing we need to look at is the adjoint of A. Now the adjoint of A is simply the transpose of the cofactor. That is the transpose of the cofactor, which is what? Carry the row and stand it. It will now be what? 4 minus 3. Carry the other one and stand it. 2 and minus 1. Okay, 2 and minus 1, right? I hope I didn't make mistake anyway. Okay. Ensure we didn't make mistake anywhere. So cofactor of 0. Okay. Okay, let's check for the cofactor of 2 by 2 matrix to know if there is a mistake somewhere. Okay, obtain the adjoint of this. So cofactor of A is 1. Cofactor of 4 is minus. Cofactor of 10 is minus 4. Yes. Okay, I hope there is no mistake. 4 minus 3, 2 minus 1. So carry this one, stand it. Carry this one, stand it. Okay. So I'm thinking that there is a mistake somewhere, and that's where I'm trying to check out where the mistake is coming from. So I'm having that this is okay. So they said the cofactor of 1 here. Okay, let me see from the example they gave. Let me know where the mistake is coming from. 10, 2, 4, and 1. Okay, I'm having that the cofactor. They say that the cofactor of 2 is 1. Okay, is 1. They say that the cofactor of 4. So the cofactor of 10 is minus 4. Okay, and the cofactor of C. The cofactor. Oh, okay, sorry, where I made mistake. Sorry, look at where I made mistake. Sorry, look at where I made mistake. That if here is plus minus, here is already plus, so here will now be minus, then here will be plus. The two signs can never be together. Please, that's where I made mistake. The two signs can never be together. So which means the cofactor of 1 is plus 4. Okay, cofactor of 2 is minus 3. Then cofactor of 3 has minus, so here will be minus. Okay, so that's where I made mistake. The sign can never be the same. So here is minus, while here is plus. Okay, so here 2 is minus and 1 is plus. So that is that. So as simple as that. So please note that if here is plus, the next line should be minus. So if here is plus, the next line should be minus. The two signs cannot be in the same place. Okay, they cannot be together. So that is that. So this is the cofactor of this. So having done that, let me give you something to do. Okay, try this for me. Find the cofactor of B, which is equal to 1 minus 1 2 3 0 minus 2 1 4 2. Okay, find the cofactor of, in fact, find the adjoint of this. Find the adjoint of this. Find the adjoint of B. Okay, then equally find the adjoint of C, where you have 2 minus 1 3 4. So find the adjoint of this one. So you tell me what the answer is at the comment section. So the next thing and the last thing we're going to get is now the inverse of the matrix. So once you have learned how to find the minor, you have learned how to find the adjoint. Okay, so the next thing you need to know is now the inverse of the matrix. And then the inverse of the matrix is very, very simple. Okay, inverse of the matrix is simply if A is equal to, in fact, inverse of matrix, watch, inverse of matrix, A inverse is simply 1 over determinant of A, then adjoint of A, as simple as that. Okay, once you get the adjoint of A, divide it by what? The matrix of the determinant of A. And don't forget, I told you in the last video that once the determinant of a matrix is 0, that means the inverse is not possible. It does not have an inverse. Okay, so you need to note that once the determinant is 0, it does not have an inverse. Why? Because we cannot keep 0 at the denominator. So take note of that. So now let's do a simple example to that. So from the other one we did, the first thing we have to find out is the determinant of the matrix. So let me use 2 examples to illustrate that. Just 2 examples, then we are done with inverse. So now they said find the inverse of A, which is equal to let me find a very simple example to that. Okay, find the inverse of A, which is 4, 5, 3 and minus 6. Okay, so the first thing you need to find is what? The determinant of A. And how do you find the determinant of A? Don't forget left, right, is it not? That's how to find determinant of A. So this time this will give you minus 24, then minus, this time this will give you 15. So minus 24 minus 15 will give you minus 39, right? So 24, 15, so minus 39, and since minus 39 is not equal to 0, it means that what? That the inverse is possible. So if the inverse is possible, so the next thing we need to now get is what? The cofactor. The cofactor of, then first of all put plus minus, since here is plus, here will now be minus plus. So cofactor of 4 is now close here, cofactor of 4 is minus 6, cofactor of 5 is minus first, before you have 3, which will give you what? Minus 3. So the next one, cofactor of 3, close here, I'm left with what? And 3 is minus as well. 3 is minus, so I'm having minus into what? Into 5, which will give you minus 5. Then finally cofactor of minus 6, which will give you cofactor of minus 6, which will give you minus 6 is plus already. Then I'm having close here, I'm having 4, so which will give you what? 4. So therefore the cofactor of A is simply is what? Minus 6 minus 3 minus 5 and 4. So the next thing you need to get is what? The adjoint of A. The what? The adjoint of what? Of A, which is what? Which is a transpose of the cofactor. Transpose of, so carry this one, stand it, minus 6 and minus 3. Carry the other one, stand it, minus 5 and 4. Okay, so finally, since you have gotten this, you now tell them that the inverse of A is now 1 over the determinant of A, then adjoint of A. So which is what? 1 over minus 39, then the matrix of minus 6 minus 5 minus 3 4, which you can write as, you can leave the answer like this or use this and multiply it. This time this will give you 6 over 39, because minus will take care of minus. So the next thing we are having is what? 5 over 39. The next one is what? 3 over 39. And the final one is what? Minus 4 over 39. So this is what? The inverse of this matrix. Or you leave it like this. This is the answer. This can be the answer. Okay. Now, 2 by 2 matrix has a shortcut in getting the inverse. Okay. Only 2 by 2 matrix has a shortcut in getting the inverse. Look at what you do for me. In getting the inverse of 2 by 2 matrix, just find the determinant for me. The determinant, once you get the determinant gave us minus 39. You know how to find it now. Left, right. Then the next thing you do for me is what? The adjoint is very simple to get. The adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix is very simple to get. What do? Just the left hand side will change, okay, while the right hand side will change their sign. Listen, the left hand side will change while the right hand side will change their sign. So the left hand side, which is the left that is supposed to do, will swap. They will swap to become minus 6 and 4. Then the right hand side now will just change their sign. Here is plus, so it will be minus 5. Here is plus, which is minus 3. That's all. You see, this is exactly this. You see that? So if, for example, you have A is equal to the matrix of 1 minus 1, 2, maybe 2, 3, something like this, okay? And they say you find the adjoint of A. Okay, it's very simple. Don't forget that the left hand side will swap while the right hand side will change their sign. So this one will swap to have 3 will be here and 1 will be here. Then this one is minus, so it will be plus. This one is plus, it will be minus, as simple as that. So that is how to get the adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix. It is very easy to get. So just know that the left hand side will swap and the right hand side will do what? Change their sign. Okay, that is for only 2 by 2 matrix. So to get the determinant of 2 by 2 matrix is very simple, and you can do it in a snappy. Okay, so the next one we need to do is determinant inverse of 3 by 3 matrix, and that will be your assignment. So find the inverse of B, which is equal to matrix of minus 2 1 3 4 5 6 7 8 minus 2 minus 1, sorry, minus 1, something like this. Okay, it's very, very simple to get. So what do you do here? First of all, get the determinant, and if the determinant gives you 0, then you stop. You tell them that the inverse does not exist. But once the determinant did not give you 0, what do you do? First of all, get the cofactor, and you know how to get the cofactor. Then after getting the cofactor, you get the adjoint of the cofactor. Then therefore the inverse is now what? 1 over the determinant times that adjoint you have gotten. So that is that. So thank you very much for watching. In our next video, we'll now talk about in our next video, we'll now talk about rule and colon operation. Rule and colon operation. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing. Share it to anyone that needs the video. God bless you.